So this Aston Martin DB4 does include a rear bumper. Sadly, it's not attached. Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon and today I'm at the fabulous Practical Classics Restoration Show at the NEC. So take your pick for starters between a Colt Sapporo and a rather mouldy Citroen BX estate. Hope you enjoy the show. And we've got another one needing some love here. It's a 98 Ford Puma. I think the car was launched, the original launch cars were on a P-plater. This one's been off the road for some years now because it developed an engine fault. Initial cars had the 1.7 litre with the head which was actually fettled by Yamaha. Then later came a 1.4 version, and then subsequently to that came the 1.6 that replaced it. But a relatively short production run. I think based on a Fiesta platform. Many of you will remember the advertising campaign with Steve McQueen recreated with one of these in the garage next to his Bullet Mustang. This one doesn't look bad. Look at the rear arches. Typical places for these to go, but the rear arches are pretty much intact. The back of the B-pillar right at the bottom, that's pretty good. That's going to make a good project for somebody. It's just whether it's worth putting the money into a car at that price point, but I really like these Pumas. How about you? So this one definitely needs rescuing. It's a former TV star, being in a series called Landscapers and Flesh and Blood apparently, and it's a Volvo 345. The 5 being important because eventually, very late, the car got those all important extra 2 doors to give it the ability to compete in the segment with, I guess, the Escort and the Astra. So it's a 1980, makes it one of the first 5-door cars there, and it's got the pre-facelift bumpers. You could get those inserts, those reflective inserts that went on there. People, they were all the rage. It's got those chrome rimmed headlamps. It's obviously a pre-facelift car, very, as I say, a very early one. And you know what, guys? It doesn't look that bad. It's been rescued by UK Barn Finds. Not sure if the car's actually open. Oh yes, it is. And you know what? Oh, that takes me back. That's not too bad in there at all, to be honest with you. Well, and you know what? I quite like that colour. Not everybody may agree. Put that in the comments. Needs a bit of fettling at the back, but there you go. Volvo 345, rear wheel drive drift king, but you could bring it back to life maybe. This Mark V Cortina gear was the one to have in the executive car park. It's a 2-litre gear. It's a 79, so it was right on the cusp of the change from Mark IV to Mark V. Mark Vs were supposed to have better rust protection, but I think it's all relative, to be honest with you. The unusual thing with this car, and why it's worth saving maybe, or reshelling, is the original elderly owner only did 18,000 miles and then put it in storage for decades. So yes, it looks like the roof has been used by a trampoline. Oh dear, that's maybe a bit ambitious in terms of rescuing this one. It would be a good source of parts. The C-pillars, well, the C-pillar said goodbye a long time ago. It's a nice colour. Well, would it polish up? I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look. It's got that sort of wood interior. Oh, it's a manual as well rather than an auto. Well, I do like that velour trim. At least that survived better than some of the bodywork. So there you go. That one needs a lot of love, doesn't it, guys? So Citroen BXs were everywhere and then they were nowhere. They were one of Citroen's biggest sellers in the period. And in actual fact, this estate version, they came off the production lines, I understand, as a hatch, but then went to a coach builder called Julius, where the back end was actually engineered and fabricated on. So I think pretty much down to here, to the rear doors, is actual traditional BX hatchback. That one looks like it wouldn't take that much to turn it round. It's a TZD, so it's a diesel turbo. Not flavour of the month for everybody, diesel power, but actually, does it deserve to live? I would probably say it does. What do you think? Put it in the comments. So as always, M25 Classics doesn't disappoint, and it's probably brought one of the rarest cars here. It's a Mitsubishi or Colt Sapporo. Mitsubishi name wasn't used originally by the company when they first started importing cars. It was the Colt Car Company. I'm a bit afraid about the connotations of Mitsubishi, but eventually they succumbed to that. And this one, actually, at first sight, yes, there's a bit of rust in it. I love the colour. Is that what they call patination on the bonnet? I don't know, maybe it is. Scuttle panels a little bit gone there by the look of it. The vinyl roof has seen better days, but you know what, I reckon that would make a super car. I'm not sure how easy it would be to find parts. Even the interior doesn't look too bad. It's an auto, got that lovely AWA FM AM radio cassette. Oh, it's got all mod cons, hasn't it, here? That lovely fastback styling. There's quite a lot to like about those, and there's plenty more barn finds to come on this stand, so stick with us. So this 1957 Morris Minor has been literally around the world. It's been to South America, it's been all over the place, but unfortunately its last few resting years have been spent in a garden, so it definitely needs preserving. What a piece of work this car is. It's still got some of the Trans World Expedition artwork on there, lovingly painted rather than stickers. Sponsored by the National Motor Museum. I guess that's what was at Bewley. Some of the period stickers on there, I think it mentions Appleyard, who were a Austin Rover Austin dealer back in the day. Well, there you go, that definitely needs a bit of love. It's worth saving. It's done its day's work, hasn't it? So top of the range was the Escort 1300E at the time. This is a late one. It's on the cusp of the Mark II Escort, the more squared one. It's got that famous dog bone grille. It was in daily use apparently until the early 1990s. It doesn't look too bad. That trim does tend to suffer a bit sometimes, but even the original trim's there. We've got a copy of Top of the Pops there if anybody's interested. No, I don't have that one in my collection. Unfortunately, it's got one of those fitted in a supermarket car park sunroofs, but I'm sure you could skin the roof. Somebody's very kindly left the badges on. It's got a reasonable boot lid. You know what? Somebody's going to turn that into a decent car, given the values of Mark 1s. Now this little beauty we haven't seen before, it's owned by UK Barn Finds, and apparently Elton, who runs the channel with his other half, actually has owned this one for many years. It's a 77 Mini 1275 GT. Don't you just love them? So Roy Haynes, designer, I think came from Ford to BL and eventually left, redesigned the front, and he didn't do a bad job with the club and gave a lot more access to the engine at the front, which was always a problem with Minis. This one looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it? It's got some standard wheels. It hasn't got the de novo run flat wheels, which I think were an option. Of course, you're never going to get tyres for the run flats now, but it was quite an innovative system that had basically some fluid in the tyres, and when the tyres ran flat, it would burst the cells and seal up the hole. Well, that was the theory anyway. Elton, Claire, that looks absolutely lovely. You've got to get that one back on the road. Surely it wouldn't take much. That needs to come to Rustival. So this 1960 DB4, I believe it's a one-owner car, and it's going to be auctioned by Bangers and Cash. And in actual fact, it looks like it had been in the storage place so long, a tree had to be cut down to rescue it. So the owner apparently did start some restoration work. I don't know what's in there. There might be a mouse living somewhere, so I'm going to keep well back. There's definitely something living in the interior. That needs work, doesn't it, guys? I should be getting there with my G101 or whatever. And it is nice to see a DB4 in a colour other than silver. Well, it has got the rear bumper with it, but it needs a bit of work, to be fair. So this Skoda Rapide 136 has a story to tell. It was a display model at Bibsworth Garage, believed to be the first Skoda dealer in the UK, and remained on display till the year 2000, till they closed. It has, wait for it, 10 miles on the clock. It's had minimum protection in terms of storage, but quite honestly, this car, I don't think would take that much to turn it round. I suppose it's a Mini 911. rear-engined. What a fabulous looking car, isn't it? And what a story to tell you. That is definitely Festival of the Unexceptional material, isn't it? What do you think, guys? So this Daimler PYM 575 is one of, I think, 60 cars produced in this format. A lot of the cars pre-Jaguar days were bodied by coach builders. This apparently has got a leaping greyhound. Yeah, you heard it right. Well, there you go. That's a claim to fame. Apparently the owners of Daimler, Lord and Lady Docker, I think ran this car, and although it was privately owned, it was used in a 1956 film called Up in the World. Well, I'd never heard of that film either, but if you have, stick it in the comments. But it looks rather elegant, doesn't it? And this 1954 Austin A30 belongs to UK Barn Finds. Now, it's got a lovely history with it. It might be a bit patinated, got a little bit of acne going on there, but pretty much it runs. It was in a shed for over 50 years, and it's called affectionately Peanut. Even got the old tax in there from 1971. Absolutely fantastic to see that. I do love those. Elton Clay, if you're listening, I need to have a go in one of those. Can you sort that, please? Last MOT'd 17 years ago, apparently, was this 1965 Jaguar 3.8 S-Type. Believed to have been used as a motorsport pace car, but if you know a bit more about that, put it in the comments, but there's no history to support that. So the S-Type was a far more sophisticated car than the Mark II, but worth really a fraction of the money. The rear suspension is incredibly more sophisticated, and part of the reason the car got that longer tail over the Mark II was simply to accommodate that change in rear suspension. And again, not a car that looks like it would take a lot from this angle to put it back on the roads. So there's big and big, and this is a 6.4 litre 18 foot long, 6.5 foot wide Mercury Marauder. So you certainly would command attention in this one. It needs quite a lot of work in there. You probably get parts in the US for this. I did meet somebody who said he'd like to buy it, but only to use the back of it as a bench. I think he was only joking anyway. But there you go. That is quite some car. I don't know if you can take in the size of it from here, but I'm going to have to walk back a long way to get this one in shot. So the story behind this is great. It started out as the owner's headmaster's car as a 1300 XL. It's now badged up as an 1800 XL, but it's got the very popular Z-Tech conversion. Inside looks beautiful. It's got, I love the Momo steering wheel. It really is not out of character with the car. It is immaculate. It really is what the owner's done to it. I'll have to find out what those seats are from. If you know, stick it in the comments. Let's just have a walk around the car. We've got those beautiful, in this instance, those turned alloy wheels, small but perfectly formed, as they say. The dog bone grille, that's a beauty. And the owner's daughter has got this one. That's a carb car, by the way. This is an injected one which started life as a 1300 GT, which is still badged like it. What a beautiful pair of Ford Mark 1 Escorts. Loving it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. If you have, I'd really appreciate it to help the channel if you'd subscribe, like and share, and most of all, please keep watching for more. So this Humber Scepter is one of the Arrow series cars from Roots, supposedly inspired by the Mark II Cortina, might have shared design staff. The Humber was obviously more of a top line car. This one apparently had owned from new by the friend of the current owner, and driven for just 4 years. Well, it's a survivor, isn't it? Wow. So apparently developed to crack the North American market, Saab developed the Sonnet. From a distance, most people probably wouldn't have a clue what it is. Virtually, I think all of them pretty much were in left-hand drive form to crack that market. Their sports car, I believe it might have had the V4 engine. You'll tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, I'm sure of it. But it looks an absolute treat, doesn't it? Well, I am liking that Saab. I'm liking that Saab a lot. So this pre-GM era Saab is a special one. It's a Carlson. So the Carlson, named after the rally driver Eric Carlson, who drove for Saab very famously. It's based on the T16. It's got the 185 horsepower engine, and additional to that I think it's got lowered suspension. And this one, well, I hope the camera's picking it up to do it justice. It is absolutely mint. That is lovely. So what makes this 9.2 unusual? It's a 1949. Yes, Simon, but production started in 1950. Yeah, but this is a prototype. It's the Saab XP92 with a 764 two-stroke engine. You're not going to see too many of these. I think they only said car number 18 or 19 off the production line. He's got quite a collection of Saabs. I've remembered I've seen him before. That is about as early a Saab as you're pretty much ever going to see in the UK. That's wonderful, isn't it? So we're on the Volvo stand now, and they've got the 440 Dutch built at the Nedcar plant in Born near Maastricht in Netherlands. This is a K-plate, a 93, I think it's a facelifted car. These were beset at the beginning with some build problems. I know that because a family member had one. Super comfortable cars, and very safe as in the Volvo tradition. And quite honestly, when is the last time you saw any Volvo 440? And this 1993 XI example is an absolute cracker, isn't it? So what makes this car unique? It's a 242 GT. Well, they never sold them in the UK. Well, they sold one, and this is it. Special order by the owner. It's got those, I think that's probably a Hella grille with those lights in the front. It's got those stripes on it, and as I say, a two-door. I've never seen ever a right-hand drive two-door 2 Series Volvo like that, and it's great to see that one here today, isn't it? With its stateside styling at the time. Bit of a Marmite car initially, and they did change the angle of that pillow when the car evolved to the 9 Series car, but it's the 740. This is the GLE with the, I don't even, are they alloys or trims? I think they're trims, and they're chrome trims. This one is absolutely lovely. It's got that striped interior. I'll try and get out of shot, hopefully you can see that. Pinstriped interior. What a lovely car. And it's in mint condition, that one. Really, really is. So this soap bar shape Audi B380, I love these. They were galvanized bodies. Some of the cars had Pro Content, a unique pulley system that actually pulled the steering wheel away, pre-airbag. It's really unusual to find these cars today, to be honest with you. They fare really well. They're built pretty well. I say galvanized. This is the injector model. Initial cars were 1.8S and 1.8E. S was carburetor, E was E for in Spritzen. We'll just have a quick look inside cheekily there. Really nice soft finish dashboard. By this stage, Audi had really done quite a bit of work to improve their brand image, and certainly in terms of build quality, this one is a step ahead of previous generation 80s without a doubt. That's lovely. So this C2 Audi 100 was bought new in Germany by the owner's wife, and it's in beautiful condition. 1981, 43 years old. It's a carburetor car, so it's a 2.2. Absolutely beautiful colour. I think he says Indiana red is the colour. It's really an eyeful, that one, isn't it? Let's try and go back and get that one completely in shot. He's very kindly opened the car up, so let's have a look what this is like. Oh, it's lovely inside, isn't it? That plastic has survived the test of time, and they really were well finished. I'm not sure whether that's a faux leather interior. Probably is, actually. Not quite sure. That's lovely. A manual car as well. Wow, that is beautiful, and shuts with a proper thunk, doesn't it? Well, there you go. That's lovely, isn't it? Now, unusually, I know an awful lot about this car because I've driven it, and it's owned by Marco Motoring, so check out his channel. and it's a Mark 1 pre-facelift Megane Coupe, the Fiji Coupe special edition car. Got a lovely revvy engine. It's really nice to drive. The colour is pineapple yellow. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? He's got some proper Megane plates on there. Oh, it's a absolutely lovely car, and it is pretty much in regular use. Not many of these survive pre-facelift cars. I just don't recall seeing a pre-facelift car at all. This is the only one I've ever seen, and I'm very thankful I had the chance to drive it. So check out Marco Motoring for more information on that car. So the Midas Gold, originally developed by an ex-Jaguar engineer, Harold Dermott, developed these cars based on a Mini. Couldn't really be called a kit car. They were fabulously engineered. Even Autocar ran one on long-term tests, which for something that might have been called a kit car was pretty unusual. Unfortunately, the factory suffered a terrible fire. I think the factory was in Corby, and then the company eventually was reborn literally from the ashes, but I think without Harold involved. But incredible cars. I did think about building one of these back in the day. This is the Mark II. See the old A-series engine crammed in there. Really useful. I mean, I've seen these. There's a decent amount of space in the back of them as well, and you'll recognise those rear lights. I reckon they're from a TR7. I'm pretty sure they're TR7 rear lights, so put that in the comments if you know different. So these XR4s, not the 4x4, that came later, really float my boat, and one of the reasons is this side window treatment was only ever used on the XR4i. There was a 3-door version which had the full-size rear window, but this one was split for some reason I don't quite understand. It's got the XR4i graphics there, it's got that twin whale tail spoiler there, and this one's beautiful. I'm racking my brains trying to work out what the colour is. Is it moonstone blue? I don't know what it is. Put it in the comments if you know different. Please help me out with that one. But that is a lovely piece of work with that 2.8 Cologne engine injected. Great. So for this car, we're going to start underneath because it's immaculate. Yes, it is a Fiesta XR2 based on the Mark 1, the carburettor car. Absolutely beautiful underneath and on top as well. Got those period graphics on the side there, all in super order. Even the dash and the interior looks absolutely mint. So shout out to the XR Owners Club here, who've got a superb stand here today. And that is taking centre stage by the look of it. So this is a 130 brake horsepower XR3i Mark V. Now what makes this car unusual, it had one elderly owner who's done, wait for it, 5,085 miles from new. Now the car is absolutely mint. I've just asked the owner if we can have a look inside, so join me and we'll have a quick look inside. It's got the Polar dealer sticker. I remember that from my neck of the woods up in Yorkshire. They were the main Ford dealers back in the day. And let's have a look inside, shall we? Well, there's no doubt that it certainly looks as if it's just got 5,000 miles in it, doesn't it? Got those heavily bolstered seats with the shoulder bolsters as well. Don't know how comfortable they are. And all that Ford switchgear exactly as you would remember it, with that Ford standard radio, perforated steering wheel, 5-speed gearbox and the electric mirrors in the middle. That's absolutely glorious, isn't it? Well, I'm blessed to have seen that one close up. So I think the Alfa 75 was a birthday present from Alfa Romeo to itself, but it was running on a budget by then, so it reused the doors from a Giulietta, and that explains why they've got the strip at the top. Those doors disguise the fact that they were used on a previous model. Looks like the handles look like they're from a Marina. No, they're not, I'm only kidding. But in actual fact, it was a compromise car. But what makes it so special, it's transaxle, so the gearbox is located over the rear axle. They drive incredibly well. I'm lucky enough to have driven one many years ago, and my overriding impression is the car really handled very well, but a rare sight on UK roads now. So this is an Alfa Romeo Arno. Now Arno stands for Alfa Romeo Nissan Automotive, no more than that. So it was a joint venture which paired a Nissan body shell with Alfa Romeo mechanicals. What could possibly go wrong, you say? Well, it didn't sell well at all, and these became super rare cars. Now I believe initially there were no plans for both Alfa Romeo and Nissan for both networks to sell it in the UK. I can't remember which network was supposed to be selling it. I think it might have been just Nissan, but in actual fact the dealers petitioned and actually got the right to sell it because it filled a gap in the range, kept the Sud factory very busy, which was helpful, and kept the unions off Alfa Romeo's back. But it is a rare sight to see either the Nissan Cherry Europe or the Alfa Romeo Arno today, but I'm glad we've seen this one. So never a common sight back even in the day was the Lancia Tamer. This is a 16 valve LE rather than the crazy Ferrari engine version. So this shared a platform and many parts with the Alfa 164, a bit less on the Alfa, the Saab 9000, and the Fiat Chroma. That's the one I was racking my brains for. You wouldn't think so. And the same stylist styled all of the cars. Was it Giugiaro? I'm scratching my head now about that one. Put it in the comments if it wasn't, but did a great job at differentiating between them, didn't they? So this Rover P6 hides a bit of a secret. It's owned by Matt Richardson of Furious Driving. It's a 73 car, but it's got a 4.6 litre V8 from a Range Rover engine. So that it really does go. So check out that car on his channel. He's changed the indicator lamps here because he was afraid of leaving the white ones on for the show. He needs a bit of work on the paint, which I know he's going to get round to doing. But all in all, it made it up here, doesn't it? Now, although it needs a bit of love, this is a good base RS Turbo to do a resto on. So the RS Turbo had about 130 brake horsepower. The Turbo was a bit on and off, as I remember. I did actually drive one back in the day, too long ago to remember in actual fact. And the one thing I do remember out of the car was the power delivery was a little bit brutal. Maybe my memory of that is wrong. Interesting thing is that it's got the, apart from the rust that's there, we'll ignore that, but it's got the green inlays, whereas the blue ones are on the XR2, and it's got those very interesting 3-spoke looking wheels. So that looks like the basis of a good restoration for somebody, and they are pretty rare cars these days, to be honest with you. It's not too bad, except in a few places, but we'll pass over that. Fiesta RS Turbo, there you go. So Ford built just 109 of these Cosworth BDA engined RS 1800s. Yeah, 109. And this one was exported to Malta originally, so probably why it survived so well. And hasn't the owner done a fabulous job? The mirrors are there for a reason. Let's have a look underneath. I mean, there is clean, and there is eat your lunch off that clean. It's got the pressed aluminium number plates, P-Reg, what's that, 75, 76? Got that black panel at the back, got the correct decals on the car, and this car is absolutely mint. Love those blue stripes, always wanted a Harrier myself, but let's try and get that in shot from the front. It's got those indicators, probably as a result of it being in Malta. I don't remember side repeaters. It is absolutely mint. Well, it's a credit to the owner, it really is. Beautiful car. So this is a Sierra Cosworth, but it's the RS 500. So Ford, I think in standard trim, gave the Cosworth about 202 brake horsepower, something like that. This took it up, I think, to 224, but more importantly, it was specifically for homologation purposes. So I think the idea was they built 500 of them in Evo trim. And this one's lovely. They were a bit troublesome back in the day. A friend of mine had one. They did have a few problems. I think ECU related, probably long since sorted out, and super rare cars these days, and worth an awful lot of money. So the Rover Metro evolved into the Rover 100, I think got a bit wider, a bit longer with the bumper bars on there. And this is the cabriolet version, and it's a lovely car, isn't it, actually? It's in beautiful condition. But we're going to have a look at the car next to it, the green one in the background, because that's got a story to tell. It's based on the Tata Indicia, was the subject of much mirth at the time. I remember some of the first cars had a few issues, but subsequently this is Rover's budget priced attempt to get a new small car by using a car from India built by Tata. There you go. See another one, or find another one, I should say. So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 Cars at the 2025 Practical Classics Restoration Show at the NEC. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and once again, as always, thanks for watching.